Salutare tuturor, sunt Ovidiu de la Carona Studio și azi vreau să vorbim despre yoga. Cu ceva timp în urmă am fost la Wellness Festival, un eveniment foarte drăguț care încearcă să ne aducă mai aproape de un stil de viață sănătos. Ei bine, la acest festival am avut marea plăcere să particip la clasele a doi mari instructori de nivel internațional, și anume Josh Kramer și Laruga Glacer. Aceștia doi au fost suficient de amabili încât să-mi ofere câteva minute din timpul lor pentru câte un interviu, așa că astăzi aș vrea să vă prezint interviul cu Josh Kramer. Dacă nu îl știți deja pe Josh, îl puteți găsi, de exemplu, pe Instagram Josh Kramer Yoga. În câteva cuvinte, el vine dintr-o familie în care s-a practicat yoga, mama lui fiind profesoară de Iyengar yoga, iar stilul pe care el s-a specializat este o combinație între vinyasa și Iyengar. Originar din Noua Zeelandă, el călătorește prin toată lumea, predând diverse workshop-uri de yoga, în special headstand, ceea ce a devenit o specializare a lui. Având o experiență atât de vastă, am fost curios să aflu părerea lui despre practica yoga. Așa că iată cum a decurs interviul. Hello, we are at the Wellness Festival. Thank you very much for this time.
Thank you.
One question is, what is yoga?
I think yoga is definitely something that is, everyone's going to interpret it differently, but something I like to do is to pull it right back to the literal meaning of the word. And yoga, I mean, there's a lot of, different translations, but yoga is to yoke, or to unify, to bring together. It's about union. And to me, that's the ultimate core about yoga. It's about bringing together, whether it's bringing your mind and your body together, it's about bringing people together, community. And so that to me is the very heart of yoga. And from there you can go into other things. In yoga we have these things called the limbs, 8 limbs. And these are sort of guiding principles that you can use to live the yogic lifestyle and to carry you forward to the ultimate 8th limb of enlightenment. But those are addressing things like your ethics, your morals, how you conduct yourself internally with other people. And obviously you have asana, or yoga poses, the postures, the exercise. And it goes forward into other things.
So I'm glad you brought up the word asana into the discussion, because one of my next questions is like, what is a yoga pose? What is asana in your point of view?
So it's a good transition into it. Asana is, it's one part of yoga. It's the 3rd limb. So it's in today's society, it's the one that attracts people to yoga because it's the physical movement, it's the exercise, it's moving your body into particular positions that you get different benefits from. So the word asana translates to seat, which traditionally yoga used to be sitting in meditation.
Sure.
But with the progression of more modern yoga, it's become different asanas that stretch different muscles, that open you up in different ways, that make you stronger in certain areas, that help you, prepare you for the rest of yoga, which is pranayama, breathing, and meditation, where you have to sit for a long time and bring the awareness inwards. So asana is just simply think of it as yoga postures, yoga poses, where you're holding your body and moving in different ways.
But also yoga has a lot of philosophy and spirituality behind it. So in your point of view, how much do you think that we are able to live that lifestyle in our daily living, like in our society? Because Eastern philosophy and Eastern way of life of living is different than our way of living.
Right.
So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, once again, everyone's going to relate to this differently. And I think with yoga, let's compare it to the spirituality of other religions. It doesn't matter what their religion is. One of the main differences is that yoga is not placing the spirituality outside in something else. It's bringing it inside, internally within you, to understand and realize a very deep meaning about who you are, to learn about your body, to learn about your mind, your emotions. So it's internal. And that makes it something that every single person can do, because we all have this deep longing to understand ourselves and to understand why are we on this planet, why are we here, what are we trying to figure out as we go through life. So that's the amazing thing about yoga and spirituality, is it's just about yourself. It's not about anything else. It's not about any higher power. If you can be, if you wanted to, but it's about understanding yourself and bringing yourself inward so that you can learn about yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and ultimately spiritually.
Sure. Totally agree with that. So I really believe that yoga doesn't come in contradiction with any other religion. Like I am Orthodox, somebody is Catholic, and we can all practice yoga and really get the value of the practice, because the value that we get is actually already inside.
Yeah.
What would you say to a beginner yogi, to a beginner like a client that goes into a yoga studio and he or she starts and wants to practice?
I think that's just exactly it. Try. Go to the yoga studio. Go take different classes. I know lots of studios give out, free 2 weeks or, unlimited classes for a week. So there's no excuse to just, limit it. Go to different studios, try different classes, try different teachers, find what really gets you excited. And that's mainly with the asana, the physical side of it. Maybe it's not, maybe there's other classes you want to take. But the main point is just to try and see what interests you, because there's such a big variety out there. And the second thing, which I think makes it really great for beginners to get into yoga, is we're lucky enough to have the online world now. There are so many different online yoga classes and courses and apps. I teach on an app called Allo Moves. You can download it and subscribe for the less than it costs for one yoga class, and you can be in your bedroom at home practicing and learning and not worrying about anyone next to you. And so then you do those two things together and you'll start to figure out what you really like about yoga.
Yes, so basically the beginners, they should just go open-minded and try, and from my point of view, it's trying many classes, more classes, not like you go to one class, you don't like it, then you decide you don't like yoga.
Exactly, that's the main thing, is it makes me upset when someone goes to a teacher or a style of yoga and says, I don't like that, I'm never going to try yoga again, because there's so much variety. And maybe it's just the teacher, we all like different things about people.
Yes, sure.
Just like you have a certain group of friends, you might not relate to a teacher, you might not connect with them. So maybe you love the style, but you just don't like the teacher, or you don't connect with them. So
it's like a different vibration of or there can be no connection between the teacher and the client, so it doesn't mean that yoga is no good.
And you change as well, even as you become a more experienced student, you might outgrow someone, or outgrow a studio, or outgrow a style of yoga. Yeah, and you need to keep just expanding and exploring new things.
It's true. Perfect. So still in this kind of topic, what would you say to a beginner teacher? Somebody that is just starts on this path of teaching yoga.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I get asked that a lot. The main thing is not to rush. A lot of people these days will do, a 200-hour course and expect to already be confident at teaching. Knowledge is not experience, and experience only comes with practice, over and over. Maybe you fail, maybe you learn, but you have to build that experience. So if you're a new teacher, keep expanding that knowledge, keep learning, keep doing your online courses, but then push yourself a little bit at a time. So a lot of it is about just building confidence. Teach your friends and stuff, teach your family. Film yourself teaching, and then you can teach a class. And
filming yourself is a great tool.
yeah, it's a great way because you can see what everyone else sees. And you might feel a little bit weird at first, but I still notice with myself like words that I will say, and then I don't like that I say those words. So I constantly learn about my teaching through watching myself. And then as you get more confident, the main thing is that I want to say is teach what you know. Don't try and teach things that you don't know. There's no reason for that. People will connect with you if you share from a genuine place. And the most important part of that is to share exactly what you're passionate about. Show your personality.
Yes, great. So basically, this path is built with knowledge and then experience.
Exactly.
Experience, which I think that there's no way around it. You just have to go through it by time.
Yeah.
You cannot rush it. You cannot build it faster than.
Exactly. And then on top of that, make your personality shine through.
Exactly.
That's all of it.
Also, one teacher of mine said in a course that I was in at some point, he said that teach not to impress, but teach to help, teach to lead.
Exactly. Teach from a place of service.
Exactly, yeah. In your opinion, what makes a good yoga class? Like you, for example, you are already a high-level instructor, high-level teacher, but still you go to take a class.
Yeah. This goes back to that same question. I mean, it follows on if you're a teacher, a new teacher, or whatever. This was the best piece of advice I got, and I can't remember who said it, but it applies to me now, and that is give your students an experience. You want to leave a yoga class feeling like, wow, that was great. I had a great experience. And then once you have that, you can introduce the things, the knowledge, the theory, the philosophy, the exercise, the workout. But if you're not having a good experience in the class, then you're not going to be moved by it. So for me, the best yoga classes are the ones where I have the best experience. And I try and give that to my students as well, where the knowledge and the theory and the practice can help enhance the experience. So you have to use them wisely, but that's always my goal, is I'm thinking, how am I going to allow these students to leave the class and feel like, wow, that was great, I feel amazing and uplifted.
Now, from a point of a client, I ask you, like you are already a high-level teacher and you go to take a class, but what if you would be a beginner client and you go to take a class? What would you look for?
As a beginner student?
Yeah, as a beginner student.
I think at that point, there's a few things, and it goes back to that question of just trying different teachers out, because you're looking for something that you connect to initially, and that'll change. But I think what new students or new clients look for is an environment they feel comfortable in. Maybe they need to be challenged in the right kind of way. Some people, it'll be different for everyone. Some people like to be challenged in their intellectually, their knowledge. Some people like to be pushed physically. Some people want to learn new skills or philosophy, but I think they're going to be looking for things that spark their interest. And that will come just through trying different things. And of course you want to be safe. I mean, you don't want to be going to hurt yourself or be embarrassed, but that comes back to feeling comfortable.
Okay. So you mentioned that you want to be in an environment that makes you feel safe and secure. So about this, can you expand a bit more? Like when you go to a studio, what makes you feel good? What do you look for in a studio?
Yeah, it's definitely, there's different areas of safety. Obviously you want to feel like your teacher knows what they're doing and is going to look after you. So I can compare it to like my handstand workshops that I've just been teaching. A handstand is a very scary thing for a lot of people because you're flipping yourself upside down and balancing on your hands. And it takes a lot of time to build the trust because I'm helping these people go upside down and I'm teaching them in partnerships and groups of 2, 3, 4 to support each other to go up and down. And so I'm helping them build that trust and build that feeling of safety so that they know that no matter what they're doing, they're never going to be pushed out of their safety zone, that they're going to embrace fear, but they're going to do it in a way where they feel safe, that they feel supported. So I think building a community is definitely a big thing. If you're going to a regular studio several times a week, every day, you'll start to build a community of friends within that group, with your teacher even. And then it becomes a feeling of trust. If your friends upset you, you tell them. If your friends aren't looking out for your best interests, you tell them. And it feels like a two-way relationship, which is how it should be.
Still, if you have some more time, maybe you can share with us how is the yoga experience from your point of view as traveling the world and teaching different kind of workshops?
Yeah.
How is this working for you?
It's, one of my greatest things that I've learned from traveling is that at the very start of this interview we mentioned that yoga is union, it brings people together. And no matter where I am in the world, what cultures, what languages, what ethnicities, when it comes to yoga, it's the same. Everyone is, learning about their bodies and their mind, and that unifies us, it brings us together. There's no more different cultures, and sometimes you don't even have to speak the same language. So that is one of the biggest lessons to me is yoga is universal, it's a universal language. And it becomes more clear the more places I go. I've come to Romania from halfway across the world.
Is it your first time in Romania?
Yeah, my first time in Romania, and it's a beautiful, beautiful city, and I'm excited to see more
Have you
of
had
it.
the time to just look around a little bit?
Just the old town. I've walked around the old town and looked at all the old architecture and the cobblestones, and then tomorrow I think I'll be going and seeing some of Transylvania.
Oh,
and
nice.
some hike, yeah.
Oh, so you will have some more time to spend in Romania?
Just one day, and then
Just one day.
off to Italy next week to teach some workshops in Florence.
Will you be back in Romania soon?
Hopefully next year for the same thing.
For the same
Wellness
Wellness Festival, it's
Yeah.
already the third edition.
Yeah, already have been asked, and hopefully if everything falls into place, I'll have my schedule free.
Great. As you were explaining, I was also thinking, what do you think about the yoga industry overall? Like lately, because we have this internet, everybody has access to YouTube, to Instagram, to this. So everybody with a cell phone can start posting like I'm a yoga teacher and posting quotes and so on. So how do you feel about this? Are we getting away from the core of yoga with these tools, or are we exposing the core of yoga more?
There's definitely two sides to it. There's a good side and a bad side. And the good side is that more people are being introduced to yoga than ever before. And it's appealing to different people because you have these apps and different styles of yoga that some people don't like, but kickboxing yoga or workout yoga, gymnastic or whatever, the way I see it is it's helping introduce people that might not otherwise have ever tried yoga. When I was young, yoga was very much seen as like a feminine thing. Men didn't do it very often, or at least the modern, like my age group. And so lately what I've been doing is trying to appeal to those guys that love going to the gym and getting a workout, and blending gym type workouts with yoga to appeal to them, because they can come and do my classes and get more of a pump and work their muscles harder than they would have by lifting weights at the gym. And that's getting them to come to yoga, and then maybe they start exploring the more spiritual side of it from that. So that's the good side. The bad side obviously is that, especially with social media, that it's very hard to determine who is the right teacher for you, who is an experienced teacher, who knows what they're talking about, because like you said, sometimes anyone can be perceived that way. And that comes down to, I think, at least for now, you have to do your own research.
Great. So this is actually a question, how a client would know a good yoga teacher?
You have to look at several things. Qualifications are one side to look at, but these days it can be very little. Someone can do a 200-hour course, having never taught or practiced before, and then they're a certified teacher. So I think you have to look at the person as their type of experience they have. Do some research, see where they've taught, talk to people who've taken their classes, and beyond the certification, I think sometimes it just helps to go with an open mind, take the class, and be quite reserved because you don't want to risk injuring yourself. If they're asking you to flip upside down on your head and you don't feel comfortable, you don't have any, you shouldn't feel obligated to do that.
Exactly.
And a good teacher will respect that and help build that confidence in you. So it's almost like you have to do your own personal audit of your different teachers, and when you find someone who's good, or you find someone online who's got good reviews outside of social media, that's how you know, like, I can start building trust in this and learning who the right teachers are for you.
Exactly. So basically, each client, each guest that goes into a studio, they should do also their own diligence and just to look a little bit.
But I just want to everyone to know that the number of followers on social media does not equal being a good teacher. Some of the best teachers I know don't even have social media. And obviously that don't exclude that, because there are some teachers who have a very big following that are very amazing teachers and very gifted and knowledgeable. I like to think that I'm one of those. I've grown up in an environment of yoga my whole life, so even if social media didn't exist, this is still what I would be doing. This is my passion, it's my purpose in life, to share and teach and learn. Every day I'm learning. I've been sitting in my hotel room in between workshops, doing online courses, expanding my knowledge around anatomy and alignment and different styles of yoga. And I mean, in the future, there's definitely, I guess, like, you know, in other industries you have forums where people can discuss and reevaluate. Like in the academic world, you have peer review. So nothing can be published unless it's been reviewed by experts in the field. Yoga doesn't have that yet.
Yeah.
It does in some industries, like the Iyengar approach, but this modern yoga is so flexible, to use a pun. It's like anyone can post anything and talk about things, and I think it'll be good to find places where there's that constant communication between people who are experts talking about things and discussing. Yeah, but that's going to be, I think that'll happen more as things move forward.
Of course, I think that slowly some standards will start to show up, even though it is kind of difficult to set standards for yoga, because we cannot really say my yoga is better than your yoga or the other way around.
It comes down to what your purpose is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's easier to regulate things like, you know, around anatomy, and but how do you regulate feelings of emotion?
Yeah.
Some people go to a yoga class just to feel good.
Or like you were saying before, when you go to a class, you want to give the clients, you want to give them an experience, so you cannot quantify the good experience or bad experience. So that's why it's kind of difficult to set some standards. But still, I think that slowly things will just maybe not standardized, but maybe well crystallized. Like we'll start to see that, I don't know, the value in the practice.
Right. And good always shines through.
Of course.
No, I like to think that nobody is stupid or ignorant, and you figure things out for yourself. What is good will always prevail, and the good things will keep moving forward, and the things that aren't helping us and helping society will fall back. Yeah.
Sure. So basically, these are all the questions that I had in mind. Listen, thank you very much for your time.
Great conversation.
Yes. Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
This discussion about yoga, I think it can be endless. We can talk about on and on and on.
Continue it next year.
Yes, so next year when you come for the festival, we'll do interview part 2.
Exactly, and make sure you guys, if you want to come next year, to sign up early when the tickets become available, because the classes will sell out quickly.
Yeah.
Asta a fost tot pentru astăzi. Dacă v-a plăcut interviul, nu uitați să apăsați butonul like, bineînțeles, nu uitați și de butonul subscribe și pe curând!